The world has conditioned you to believe that self-love is a kind of hallmark moment or an Instagrammable post. It's something that perhaps you do to reward yourself for working hard. It's a way of nourishing your body and your mind. It's activities that you do that energize you or make you feel more relaxed, more grounded, more centered. And all of these things are wonderful, but they're not really self-love. They are all perhaps expressions and symbols of self-love. But that's the trap, is that we mistake the trees for the forest, and we give the significance to the activities and the actions and the behaviors than to the actual root or the essence of what it is. And that's what's happening with a lot of these self-loving things that we're doing. And that's just it. Self-love is not a doing. Self-love is the recognition of your true self. Because your true self is love. At the essence, at the core, at the heart of yourself, of your being, is love itself. And so when you come in contact with the real you, that innermost self, which is prior to anything that you can do, anything that you can think, anything that you can feel on the surface, any perceptions, any concepts, any ideas. It's always beyond all of these appearances, which are only appearing to the real you. They're all impermanent. They're all fleeting. They're all unreal in the sense that they're not constant. They're not consistent. And that real love that you are is the only reality that there is. It is the only thing that is real because it is the only constant. All of these things that come and go, when they're given significance and relied upon and depended upon, and when we invest our sense of worth and sense of belonging and sense of love in, then we are investing in an illusion. We are giving ourself to something which doesn't last. But when we turn that awareness back in on itself, and we seek and search for that which is constant, that which is real, that which is unchanging, the only thing that is constant, then we discover the true love that is always here. It's already what we are. And in working backwards, so to speak, through all of the illusions, through all of the strategies, through all of the practices and techniques and all the things that we're doing in order to gain love, in order to get a sense of love, in order to feel love, when you work backwards and get to the source of what is perceiving that love, from where is that love perceived? What is the nature that is experiencing that love that comes from these activities, that comes from all of these things in the world, things within our experience? What is that which knows that love? And when you can sit in that question not needing an answer, not needing an experience, but simply aware, more and more aware of the awareness that is at the heart of everything, then you start to recognize your true nature, which is unconditional. It is timeless. It is eternal. It is infinite. It contains everything. It is everything. And so true self-love is actually the recognition, the realization of who and what you truly are. And in that sense, self-love is self-realization. Because when love is unconditional, it is not needing any terms, any agreements, any dependence. It is not needing a cause. It is not needing anything in order for it to be. It is unconditioned, unconditional. Therefore, it is always already here and now. And so rather than trying to manufacture it, trying to create it, trying to find it, trying to experience it, self-love is the seeking for the truth of who you are, for the essence of what you are, for the source of your being. And in coming into alignment with the source of your being, there is an unspeakable love. There is an immeasurable love. There is a timeless, eternal, infinite love, which is known to be yourself. And when you come to know that self, which is always here, it's always just prior to all of the attempts that we are seeking love in the world, love from others, love in this experience, love from the spa, from a massage, from all these other things that we're trying to do to love ourselves, to nurture ourselves. Even the mind and the body, when nourished and nurtured, again, this is perhaps an expression of that self-love, but when it is mistaken to be self-love, we are giving significance to something which is unreal. You are not your body. You are not your mind. These things come and go. What is it that knows these things, these experiences? Who is it that is aware of all of these things that come and go? And how could that real you, gain anything from something which is illusory, something that is unreal? You can experience it. Sure, you can enjoy it in that sense. But if you don't recognize that it is simply a mirage of your beingness, then in fact it's not self-love, it's self-hatred, because it's actually self-denial. It's looking in the wrong direction, so to speak, for yourself. And that's why the Buddha said life is suffering, because when we invest our awareness, our consciousness into the world, seeking something, seeking ourselves, seeking for meaning, seeking for purpose, seeking for truth, we will only, inevitably, invariably be met with suffering. Because the truth, the love, the self that we seek is within. And actually, within at some point becomes a bit of a misnomer, because it is beyond all notions of inner and outer, beyond all conceptions of this or that. It simply is. And that is what you are. And so when everything is recognized to be yourself, and when everything is embraced as that self, when there is no more resistance, when there is no more seeking, when there is no more striving, when there is no more believing that there's anything to gain or become, when there's simply the recognition of that infinite self, which is at the very nature of all things, then you have unconditional love. You are unconditional love. And then that becomes the experience as an effect of that recognition, of that realization. And in our modern world, it's almost condemned. It's almost contained to this idea of selfishness, because you must care about others first. You must compromise yourself and do things that you don't want to do, and work hard and struggle, and all of these strange worldly notions, which then are deemed worthy of being able to love yourself. You then earn the possibility of being able to appreciate yourself, being able to recognize yourself, because you've earned it, because you've proven it, because you deserve it. But the very fact of your existence, the very nature of your awareness, is the love itself. And so every time that you seek anywhere other than the truth of yourself, which is always here, it is always beyond whatever it is that you're labeling and defining and assuming. It's always beyond the perception, the conceptions. It's more subtle. It's more nuanced. It's more invisible. And it's priceless. Because you will never find it in forms. You will never find it in the world. You will never gain it. You will only uncover it. You will only realize it.